Okay, welcome. So we're going to do a few tutes on introducing to Adobe Animate CC. Basically going by the assumption that you've never animated or used any sort of program before. So I'll start off really basic and cover a lot of things and gradually increase in difficulty. So first things first, if you open it up, you're probably greeted with a screen similar to this. You've got the Create New there. There's a whole different range of things you can use. Um, if you want to make an app, for example, for the iPhone, Air for iOS is your buddy, or for Android, Air for Android. Um, but we're going to go with, just to create a basic sort of animated short film, we're going to go with Create New Action Script 3. Okay, so your screen will look like this. Or it looks something like this. It might look a little bit different. Sometimes things are a little bit moved around. Often, sometimes when you open it for the first time, your timeline can be at the bottom. This is how I like to have mine set up. But you can change that however you've got it by going to Window menu, Workspaces, and then choosing one or moving them around and saving that workspace, etc. So I've just got I've got Classic chosen, and that sort of keeps everything like this, which is how I like it. So these are the most important windows you're going to use. So we tend to keep them open fairly regularly. So I've got my tool palette here down the left. I've got my timeline window here. I've got my stage here where all the animation happens. And over here I've got two docked windows. I've got the properties window, the properties tab, which is important, and the library tab, which is also important. If you don't have one or more of those, any window that you might want to open and close, you can get to through your window menu. So you can see there, timeline is there, tools there. They're ticked because I've already got them open. Any other ones you might need along the way, or if one of the windows isn't there, you can just find it in this menu and tick it and it'll go. So if I go tools, for example, you can see it disappeared over here to the left. So if you don't have your tools, you can just go window, choose tools, and there you go. Okay. So while we've got nothing on our stage and we've got our properties panel up, these settings will change depending on what's selected at the time. So if I were to draw something and select that, this properties panel will be showing the properties of that thing that I've drawn. So it comes in very handy. For the moment, if you want to go back to selecting this document one, if you have drawn stuff, you can just click on anywhere, a blank part of your workspace that doesn't have anything on it, and that'll deselect everything that might be selected, and then you can see this. So the important ones that will change a bit are FPS here, which is short for frames per second. So I'm just going to click on that and change it to 25. Conversely, you can actually you can see you got the little left and right arrow. You can click and hold and drag to the right or drag to the left. Okay, I've changed it to 25 as opposed to 24 purely because it's easier to add up, and that's the only reason. But you should keep it at around 25 because if you are going to do an animated short film, even though you can do sound in Animate CC, it's not great. It's not that you don't have a great deal of control over it, and it's a little bit fiddly and all sorts of stuff. So I tend to do all the animation in Animate, and then I'll export it out as a QuickTime like MOV clip or something like that. And then I'll put it into my editing program of choice, film editing program like Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere, and then do all the sound mixing and stuff in there. So if it was only 12 frames, for example, 12 frames a second, or 15, it would speed it up to suit the more filmy timeline speeds in your editing program. So I stick to 25, it's easy to add up, and it's a good speed. So size and width, I'm just going to click on that and change it to 910. And height, I'm going to type in 500. My reasons for doing that are, again, if you're making an animated short film that you intend to have sort of screened on a big screen or a TV screen or things like that, this is roughly the proportions of sort of TV screens and theatre screens these days. So you can make it bigger, but you're basically sticking to your 16:9 ratio. You sort of want to go for that widescreen option. Okay. Another thing is when you're using with your tools, sometimes if you click on, say, this, you can see down here I've got some options. Depending on how big your screen is or your resolution, sometimes there are other tools down there you can't see. So if you can't, all you need to do, you can actually resize this. You just move your mouse over that little join between, you can see I'm getting the left and right arrows there, the join between the tools and the stage. Click and hold. I can drag to the right, and that'll bring all those tools up, and it makes them a bit easier to access. Okay, so that's important to remember as well. If I mention a tool later on and you can't see it, you probably just need to go a little wider. Okay, so they're all the basics of everything you should have ready to go. And now we'll get into actually drawing something and making it move.